Conservative leadership continues as the party will elect their new leader September 10th, and as the deadline for memberships have passed last week, while there has been some changes of support when it comes to the leaders, the candidates on that ballot. There's 6 of them, and there's been some movements when the membership numbers have been announced. We'll go into who those are and what it means, but prior to that, I want to go into the poll that we have available here, and this is by Logic Research and Narrative Research. They have put together a poll that was conducted online between May 17th and May 19th of 2022. They have surveyed 1,234 Canadians over the age of 18, so they are able to vote. And these are Canadians. And I want to give you what this is, what the numbers have shown so far. And it seems that it's between Jean Charest, who is one of the 6 candidates, and the front lead contender, Pierre Poilevre, that's been seen to be the front runner since the onset of this leadership election, that will have whoever is elected come September 10th will be running for the Conservative Party as the leader of the Conservative Party, will put together the mandate and the policies that will go into an election if it's held in 2025 against Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, or perhaps a new Liberal leader. And now this poll that has come out by Narrative Research shows that Jean Charest and Pierre Poilevre are among the top choices for Canadians for the next leader of the Conservative Party. What they've done is they've broken it down to just the general population and Conservative voters. And I am going to share the stats with you on those 2 criterias. Well, when it comes to Canadians who considered overall, nearly 1/2 of them do not favor any of the current candidates. The 6 of them that are on the ballot, essentially, that is about 47% don't means none of the above as an option when it's given to them between which candidates they would prefer to be the next leader of the Conservative Party. But when it comes to the contenders, Canadians are most likely to prefer Jean Charest at 20%, Pierre Poilevre at 18%, and the rest, Patrick Brown at 8%, Leslyn Lewis at 3%, Scott Aitchison at 2%, and Roman Baber at 2%. So the 6 on the ballot are Patrick Brown, Pierre Poilevre, Scott Aitchison, Leslyn Lewis, Jean Charest, and Roman Baber, and that's the breakdown. So Jean Charest is at 20%, Pierre Poilevre at 18%, Patrick Brown at 8%, Leslyn Lewis at 3%, Scott Aitchison and Roman Baber both at 2%. And this is in terms of Canadians, not Conservative voters, but the general Canadian that was partook in the survey out of the 1,234. That is what their choice is for who should be the next leader. When it comes to Conservative supporters in the Conservative Party, these are people who vote Conservative, they're Conservative, identify themselves as Conservative. Well, when it comes to them, Pierre Poilevre is what they prefer as the next party leader at 45%, and compared to the other candidates, which have far less. Jean Charest is less preferred in comparison to Conservative voters at 14%. So where Pierre Poilevre is ranking at 45%, Jean Charest is at 14%, and these are Conservative supporters who identify themselves as one. And 1 in 10 Conservative supporter prefers Patrick Brown at 10%, Leslyn Lewis at 4%, Scott Aitchison at 4%, and Roman Baber at 1%. So that's where things are sitting at when it comes to this poll. And when it comes to Canadians aged 18 to 24, well, they say that they don't prefer any of the candidates on the ballot, any of the 6. But when it comes to Canadians over the age of 55 and plus, well, they say that one of the candidates is somebody that vote for, and they are leaning more towards Jean Charest when it's the 55-year and plus voter. When it comes to women compared to men, well, the women are again going with none of the above, not really choosing any of the 6 candidates in comparison to men. And that is where that poll has shown us. And now when it comes to this leadership, well, 2 of the Conservative MPs have switched their allegiance, their support for Patrick Brown to Pierre Poilevre, as the numbers were disclosed soon after the deadline of the memberships. What does that mean? Well, any of the 6 candidates on the ballot, where their campaigns have been selling memberships. It's $15 annually to join the Conservative Party as a member, and you have to be 14 years and older and a resident in Canada to be able to vote for the membership and for the election. That's going to send ballots. The Conservative Party will send the ballots home, and it's a ranked ballot. You get 6 options. You could choose one, or you could rank in the order of your preference of the 6 candidates in terms of who you would choose, and then you would mail it back. Well, essentially, as now the party deadline is for submitting those memberships, which essentially means as any of those campaigns make memberships, now they're going to go to those members and say, please vote for us, please put us in first. If you don't like us for first place, then please include us in second or third, because they would be ranked in the ballots. Now, the Pierre Poilevre campaign released their numbers, saying that they are around 312,000 memberships. So it was just estimated, I'm rounding up, it was 3,100 and some odd memberships, but rounding it up to 312,000 memberships. That's a very significant number, and that is after Patrick Brown announced that he sold 150,000 memberships. If you can imagine, this is just 2 campaigns talking about staggering numbers of membership sales. That is almost close to the 500,000 mark. This would make Canadian political history of paid memberships by any political party. And if you recall, back in 2017, when Andrew Scheer became the leader of the Conservative Party on the 13 count of the ballot, by just half a percentage point, well, he had sold just a little under 10,000 memberships. So if you can imagine the staggering numbers of 312,000 memberships by Pierre Poilievre's campaign, averaging out, and Patrick Brown saying 150,000 memberships, those are massive numbers. And so that means the party memberships will be somewhere in the 600,000, because in the last leadership election, it was about 250,000, around 265,000 members, with all 4 candidates in place in the 2020 leadership that saw Aaron O'Toole become leader of the Conservative Party. So this is what we're looking at. And so since then, you have MP Kyle Seeback of Dufferin-Caledon and Hamilton area MP Dan Muys switched their allegiance and support from Patrick Brown's campaign over to Pierre Poilevre, and whether that's a strategic choice, that's to be seen, as it was disclosed that there was a significant amount of memberships that were sold in their home ridings where they're MPs, and perhaps maybe they felt that, you know, those numbers, the writings on the wall, that potentially Pierre Poilevre could become the next leader. And if you want to be in cabinet, if Conservatives do form government, and the leader becomes prime minister, then you probably want to be on their good side to be able to get a good portfolio, get a good position, become a minister, be in cabinet. And those are some of the things that you'd have to do for what you would call office politics. Well, that is politics on Parliament Hill. And so that's the latest numbers of where those campaigns are sitting, and in terms of support being switched over. But there's still a long way to go. There are the summer months as these leaders on the ballot will go to the membership and ask for their vote and support. And we'll see who's going to be the next Conservative leader come on September 10th. This is Y Media Political Sensex. I'm your host, Ramona Singh. Until next time, stay well and take care.